Hey guys, this is Stefan. How are you? It was November of last year, the last time we did a LumiPro update, and I thought I would show you the most recent update that I'm working on. And I am not ready for beta yet. I'm still working out the details, but I thought I'd give you kind of a quick preview of what we're doing. It's definitely kind of a cool thing. What this is about saving your camera position. And so if I shoot a product photo or something like that, typically you have multiple different outfit changes. And what you'd really like is you'd like to be able to, while you're saving the outfit, to be able to save the position of the camera. At the same time, you may have a shoot you've done and you need to come back to, and not only would you like to save the position of the camera, you'd also like to be able to deal with the pose and deal with the lighting and save all that as well. And it would be nice to save that in one place. The prior LumiPro had a preset sitting down here. We're actually moving a preset over into a slider, and I don't have all the GUI worked out of it yet, but it's getting fairly close. But the idea is that I can, step one, I can say I want to save the lights, I want to save the camera, and I want to save the pose. I can save it into one of these positions, and I can either hit save or restore. I'm going to spend the time focusing on the camera side of this thing for a second here, and I wanted to give you a little hint, and this is what I got this little diorama thingy set up here. What happens is you set your camera to a position like here, and you look at the object over in here, and it creates a vector from where you are to where the camera is. And then if you ask the position, where's the model at? What's interesting is it actually doesn't give you, it gives you the avatar center, which is down here. And the reason this is important is the way that this thing works with depth of field. Let me show you an example of this thing. So I'll do a couple of restores that I'd saved ahead of time here. So this is my position looking over at Sammy sitting over in there, and there she is. I have another one at Sammy's position looking over at me, and there you can see that position. And then I have a third one here, which is me at the camera position, zooming down and looking at this. And it works really, really well. They're competitive products. Let me give you an example of a competitive product. It does the same thing. Let me move the camera. And this little guy down here, and you set it down here, and he does the same thing. Life's good. Now, where all this gets complicated is when you think about depth of field. Now, in real life photography, when you focus on something, something will be in focus, and then the goal is you want some of the stuff around it to be out of focus. Second Life has that concept. Let me show it to you here. I can go over into Preferences, Graphic, Depth of Field, turn it on, and I've got it turned on right now. So when I set the camera sitting in here, I get to decide, even at the same camera position, do I want to focus down at the end over in here on this? Do I want to focus on the picture on the wall? Do I want to focus on, what do I need to do? I got some prim in the way. So do I want to focus on Stefan? And you even notice when you focus on Stefan, this starts getting out of focus. Or I'm going to show you this little red ball. If I focus on this little red ball, you can see the red ball's in focus, but this other stuff is not. And this is actually, frankly, where I think LumiPro is going to shine on this thing. When I go select Restore here, notice that it's actually focusing down over at the where I set it the focus, which was down here at the end of the mannequin sitting in here. If I use the other guy's product, if you notice, he can only set the focus 1 meter away, and that's exactly what I have on here. The other focusers I've seen will know the camera position, and it'll just pick up spot 1 meter. And the reason why is the way the Linden tool work, the Linden scripting language works. It gives you the position of the camera, it gives you the rotation of the camera. Well, that gives you a vector to where to look, but it doesn't tell you where to focus. So what I did in LumiPro is I can take advantage of the fact that the talent is wearing LumiPro balls, and LumiPro balls can communicate back to the tool what the distance is, and that's this distance here. And since I know the distance from the avatar that I'm at, and the balls can report, I can actually compute the distance. So again, what you can see is, if I look at the competitor tool, it's just sitting there, kind of at about a 1 meter focus out of the way, whereas I can do the same thing on Restore 3 here, and it actually gets the depth of field right. So this is really exciting. Notice it's focusing on Sammy, it's focusing on me, and it's focusing on here. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is the competitive tool only saves within the same region. If I'm in the same region for which the photo was taken, it'll do it. If I'm not in the same region, or if it's not in the same position, it's not only going to just save the camera position, it's actually going to look at the relative position between where the camera is relative to the focused target that I'm looking at, and it will do the relative math. And so again, my goal is that if I get everything set up just right, but you want to move locations either within the same sim, or you want to move locations within a different sim, you can still have all the camera. It will save all the lighting position, it will save the camera position, and it will also save the pose. You should be able to, if you're in the middle of working on something you have to go, you can just pick a slot, hit save. You can come back later and just hit restore, and it'll bring back the lighting of the talent. It'll bring back the pose of the camera, and it'll bring out the position of the camera. So I hopefully will be in beta in a month or so. I'd love to get you guys' feedback. I just need to go do a bunch of cleanup in the interface here. I'm pretty happy with this new interface that I've got here. And I can bring out the sliders, and then I can also bring out the preset thingy and make it do its job. So I'm pretty excited by this. All right, take care, guys.